What's up, one? It's Lana.
And Shane, how are you doing?
How you doing? Shiloh says hey, and then there's SJ. SJ, can you give a wave? Anyways, we just wanted to pop on here and do a quick little life update, I guess. Sorry you're so close in my face. I don't want to get too close to the air. Anyways, we just wanted to do a life update on where we're at, what's going on, as we started the vlog to bring you on the journey of what it looked like on us finding a home, and we still haven't found a home. And as it's obviously, as you know,
and she rubs her nose on her arm.
Saturday the 31st of July, and we're
moving on the 30th of August. Well, that weekend before, I think it's like 27th.
Yeah.
But, you know.
And we still don't have a home. And so we kind of just wanted to be raw and open with it and just kind of discuss what it looks like when you get to a point of being down, doubtful, feeling like Jesus doesn't hear you. And all that to say is it's human to do that.
Yeah. And one of the things that we talked about a little bit on our last video is God's okay with you being upset at him. He's a big God, and that there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, if you look at the story of Moses, when he was at the burning bush, he argued with God, and that he wasn't good enough, and he wasn't this and that.
Or you also have the book of Jonah, where Jonah ran away from his calling because he felt like, number one, the people were not worthy enough to have Jesus, and number two, he didn't want to do it. We see time and time again in scripture leaders who were called by God who didn't actually want the calling in the moment.
Yeah, Gideon being one of them. A lot of people are like, oh, you shouldn't test God, but then we've got Gideon who runs out there and goes, God, make the fleece wet, or God, make the fleece dry. And God does both of those.
And not being mean, Shane really wishes the Lord would answer him like that, but that's
right?
not.
Who wouldn't like God to just, with an audible voice, tell you what you're supposed to be doing?
I think everybody would, but that would be easy,
right? That would remove the faith aspect, and that's one of the things that we are in right now is the faith. Like, are we having enough faith and trusting God that He's gonna be there and provide? Like, one of the awesome things that happened is we got blessed with some funds, and it's the funds work out with our budget, and it's awesome that God provided that. And so one of the things, you sit there and have doubts, but then things like that happen and remind you how faithful God is and how faithful He is to you and your family, and to you being faithful to Him. One of the things that, I heard somebody say and I thought was super awesome, he said, it takes one step of faith for God to come rushing in. And that is so true. Like, we're taking this step of faith and launching this church and being obedient to what we feel like God's called us to do. And we have seen nothing but His faithfulness. And now we're facing something, and we're struggling a little bit with faith. We're struggling a little bit with knowing what He wants and where He wants us to go.
And I think for me, yesterday was a really rough day. I kind of wanted to film it, but I didn't because I have an ugly cry. And so I didn't want to be like, if you're old school and you remember when Britney Spears came on and video recorded herself and was crying. And then the guy that wanted to defend Britney, and he said, "Free Britney," and he was crying all ugly. I didn't want to do that.
Nobody remembers that, but I don't know.
If you're in your 30s or older, you understand. The young folks, bless you. No, bless you. Anyways, but I didn't want to do that. And so yesterday was a very hard day. I cried a lot. I think part of it is just my emotions with the move. Part of it is still being a new mom to that. And a 6-year-old on top of that. And so it was a lot yesterday. I will say though, every time that I talk to the Lord, when I sit and I say, God, make a way, I hear a really like quick thing, like, it's gonna be okay. I have the house for you. It's gonna be okay. And so it's one of those things like, yes, me and Shane have come a long way in our walk with Christ to get to this point, to be able to know what his voice is compared to our mind thoughts. But it can happen to anybody. It doesn't need to take 10 years or 11 years to get to this point. Overall, I'm learning to be content and to know that even though I don't see it right now, it's going to be there.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, like, I was sitting there going, God, what are you trying to teach us in this moment? And one of the things that I feel like he's like, are you going to listen to me? And that's one of the things that I feel like I struggle with the most, because I'm a planner and a processor, and I like having, I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a production guy at heart. I like having run sheets. I like to know what's coming
You like
next.
to be in
I
control.
like,
just be honest. Just be honest
Lana
with America and
swears
whoever's
up and down,
watching.
it's a control thing, and I'm
Shane
like, it's
is-
not a control thing. It's just knowing what's happening
Shiloh
next.
agrees.
Anyways, so he was like, are you just going to sit back and listen and trust me? And that's one of the things that I feel like he's telling us right now. Like, what will you sit down and allow me to do what I need to do? And it's like, God, that's hard. That's really hard to do, in my opinion, or at least for me. I don't know about y'all. Y'all might be more holier than me, and but I feel like it's hard for me to sit back and allow that to happen. Sometimes I think, it's easy on the small things, but when it gets to the big things, can you really sit back and trust them?
Or if you're not fully financially stable, like, are you able to allow him to move in your life? Because if you have the funds in the account, yeah, anybody can trust and believe when the funds are there. But it's when, it's like you're on the edge of a cliff and you just gotta go. It's like Peter, when Jesus told Peter to come out and walk on water. He was focused on God at first, but what happened? What did he start doing? Looking at everything around him, and that's what made him sink. And I know we're saying a lot of stories, but I think it's also relevant for the times of what we're going through, what you guys are going through. Because if it's not what me and Shane are going through about having faith the size of a mustard seed for God to move mightily, but it's also something in your life, whatever that could be. It could be for some family member who's sick. It could be for a way open for your children, whatever that is. You just if God has told you something, you have to hold fast to it and hold on to the word. And that's part of the reason why we're bringing stories up from the Bible, because that's what we do. You hold on to what's true and noble and pure, and that is scripture. And so when things get down and things get tough, there's most of the time where Shane's down and I'm okay, like, and I speak life over him, and vice versa. Like yesterday I was down and he was speaking life over me. But all I can, even today as I'm talking to you, the only thing that keeps popping in my head for this situation for us is Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. Like I said it before. Trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will
make your path straight.
And it doesn't mean that just because he'll make your path straight, it's going to be easy. No. And so you just have to put your trust, and I will hold fast to that scripture. And that's how we walk it out. That's how we do life, and that's how we show faith in our chaotic times. Because the world, from what it's looking, friends, you already know, you already have your opinion and thoughts, is just not, it's not our home.
Hi.
And so my son just opened his umbrella
in the car, and we've got an umbrella open.
How do you feel about that, Shane?
The things that we talk about, trusting and letting things happen. Yeah. Anyways, Let's don't poke our brother in the eye.
But we just wanted to share that with you. We are at our destination. I would take you with us. But it's hard with 2 kids.
Yeah, and I've got to work, so.
Anyways, but we love y'all.
And we thank God for y'all. And let us know, you know, the way we consider that you guys are with us is through the comments and through people liking the video
and sharing the video and subscribing to the video.
And so we want to be here for you guys, and we will respond to every comment. We will respond to every follow. We will follow you back. So
and
if you need a follower, you know, follow us and we'll follow you back.
Hey, you never know.
But,
not to mention, I feel like the whole time they're staring at SJ in the background as you're talking.
I think so. But anyway.
So, all right. We love you guys. Bye.